Hey, this is Math Minutes Pro with Dr. Harrison. Today we're going to talk about solving equations using the division and multiplication properties of equality. Now, we have a word problem here, and we're going to go through the following steps of solving a word problem. First, we're going to read the word problem, and then we're going to read it a second time for understanding and pay attention to the information that's given. We'll identify the question or what they're asking us to do or find. We'll identify again what's given. We'll choose a strategy. Sometimes you can draw a picture. In this case, I believe we'll be able to draw a picture and label it, and then we will solve the problem. So let's go ahead and get started with reading the word problem. So it says the perimeter of a regular pentagon is 41.5 centimeters. It says write and solve an equation to determine the length of each side of the pentagon. So now let's read and pay attention. We're going to mark up some things that's very important. It says the perimeter, so we're going to look at that. We want to find the perimeter. Remember, perimeter means when you add up the sides, all the sides of a polygon. It is the sum of the side lengths. Now, it says the perimeter of a regular pentagon. Regular is the key word. Pentagon, remember, has 5 sides. When it's a regular pentagon, that means all the sides are the same length. So that's very important. It says the perimeter of a regular pentagon is 41.5 centimeters. So we know what the perimeter is, right? They tell us that it's 41.5 centimeters. They want us to write an equation, okay? And after that, determine the side length, or determine the length of each side of that pentagon. Okay, so we know what we have to do. We paid attention to what's given. Now let's draw a picture, okay? That's part of the strategy. So let's get a picture of a pentagon. Remember, it's 5 sides. So let's say we have a pentagon here. And remember, I'm sketching it. All right. May not be drawn to scale, but we have a 5-sided figure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's our pentagon. And let's just label the side lengths X. Okay. That means that they're all the same length. This is a regular pentagon. And it tells us that the perimeter, P, is 41.5 centimeters. So I'm going to say P equals 41.5 centimeters. Okay, that's the information that's given. Okay. Now, what we want to do is the strategy we want to use in addition to drawing a picture. In this case, whenever you're given a word problem, always try to write an equation, okay, that represents the information that's provided, okay? So we know that the definition of perimeter is the sum of the side lengths. So that means P is equal to X plus X plus X plus X plus X. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 X's, all right? And they tell us what the perimeter is, all right? But before we do that, notice we're dealing with addition here, but it says we're going to use the division or multiplication property of equality. Well, if we have 5 X's, we can rewrite that as 5 times X. So I'm going to write P equals 5 times X, okay? Now, we can substitute what P equals, which is 41.5. So let's rewrite that. Instead of P, I'm going to write 41.5 equals 5 times X. All right? So here we have it. 41.5 equals 5 times x. We need to isolate this variable x because they want us to determine the length of the side, which is x. I think I'll write that there. I like to write information. So x equals the side length. Okay. So if we need to solve for x, we need to get rid of that 5. What's the opposite of multiplying x by 5? It's dividing by 5. So let me rewrite this again. 41.5 equals 5 times x. And we're going to divide. The opposite of multiplying by 5 is to divide by 5. So we'll divide this side by 5. And whatever you do to one side of the equation, you have to do to the other. We'll divide this side of the equation by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1, so we cross that out. Okay, so then what do we end up with? I'm just going to draw an arrow here. We have 41.5 divided by 5 equals x. So when you take 41.5 and divide that by 5, you get 8.3. And in this case, what's the unit of measurement? Centimeters. So we'll write centimeters equals x. Circle our final answer here. So what does this mean? Well, they wanted us to find the side length of this regular pentagon, and that side length is 8.3 centimeters. So thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to check out my Patreon page on my video description below. On my Patreon page, you can get access to exclusive math lessons, study tips, live Q&A, and more. See you next time.